wasn't paying attention, or one guy slipped as he was throwing said javelin and got someone,
this is
easily
the down,
one
this
time.
is the this is listen. I wanted the Greeks were a while ago, as I've been given to understand. And I still like they wouldn't have thought of like if they invented democracy, they wouldn't have also invented like a no downrange rule. Like, hey,
Again,
all right,
I'm
they only
sure there
have
was a rule,
we're
but
only
you're
giving them
saying
one
people follow
javelin.
rules all the time. Do
I'm
people
saying
follow
we
rules
give
all the
I'm
time?
saying we give them each one javelin. That way we know exactly how many are in the field and how many aren't. This
Guy
is
just
just like bringing
wanders
in
out there.
this is why they're bringing in Air Horse One with like a set number of horses. That way
True.
they know exactly who's coming in.
This is true. The best name ever.
It's the only thing I care
So
about.
good. So good.
So are we going to pick breaking?
Yeah.
Yes, we
pick
are.
breaking. Yeah. We got to officially introduce it as an Olympic sport on the podcast. So
It leaves. This is the first we've graduated something from chess heads.
true. That's true. Yeah. Well, I think I'm good. If you guys are, I'll get it started.
Oh yeah, let me launch it. Audacity.
And by the way, hello
The
YouTube.
thing that hey YouTube, the thing that I've been
Hold on, let me. I don't know why. Give me 1 second with Audacity.
good.
It's not reading Elgato.
Welcome to Audacity. Thank you. I've been using you for like 2 years, but thank you.
Been here before.
There we go. I'm ready now.
All right. I'm recording.
I am recording.
All right. Welcome to the show. Listeners, it is good to have you here. We've got a busy show tonight. We've got Olympics. That could just solely make up an hour, but as if that were not enough, as if the Olympics going on were not enough, we got some interesting news in college football. There's some drama to talk about, so we'll be talking about it here. There's top 25 preseason polls that got released. We're going to try to jam all of that into a relatively small amount of time. But if you're one of those people that listen to podcasts on 2 times speed, first of all, how? But second of all, this might be the show to do it. But before we get into all of that, Johnny, what's up, man? How's your week going?
My entire week, I don't think I had a single evening last week that I didn't have something going on. All good things, all fun things. And my day was, if we're being honest, me pretending to be productive at work while the Olympics were on, because the Olympics literally begin and end basically with my work day. So most of the live events, other than like surfing, ends at 5, and the events start like at 7 in the morning. So relatively speaking, the Olympics are on at the exact same time. So trying to multitask probably horribly, but I've loved every moment of the Olympics.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Josh, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I will say I've been trying to watch the Olympics, and I got really distracted because I saw that the equestrian sports. It's not for lack of trying. I simply saw on Twitter that the horses are brought in on one plane for the equestrian events, and they call that plane the Air Horse One.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, that occupies the 90% of my brain that I use during the day. And so it's like, I've seen a lot of Olympics. I'm just not internalizing any of them because Air Horse One and the sight of like 15 horses all like Indiana Jones style, like in a plane is just, that's all I'm going to be thinking about for the next few weeks.
Yeah, that's
Josh,
fair.
Speaking of equestrian, did you see the video of Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart at the dressage area in Versailles, which Versailles is the perfect place to do your equestrian, but those two together, hilarious.
It's fantastic. I hope they host more. Like I want them being the exclusive like color commentary for every single sport when it goes to LA in 28. He already has. I mean, Snoop Dogg has already done this. Didn't he do Planet Earth? Like, this is right up his alley.
Yeah, he was like a guest. That was awesome with the mongoose and the cobras or something. That was wild.
I'm so ready.
If you haven't seen the video, look it up. It's great.
Also, it's insane to me that like everyone, like he's got this like not quite grandfatherly figure, but he's kind of like
uncle. Uncle's the right word.
Fun uncle vibes. that he's hanging out with Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart has done more jail time than him, and he was on trial for murder back in the day. And like, it's crazy how circumstances it's crazy how life happens, you know?
I love that guy. Love
Yep.
that guy. It's because he genuinely is interested in all of these super obscure
Yes.
random sports. He
Yeah.
tries
Well-
them out. But he's genuine, and everybody loves
so
it.
genuine. Well,
Everybody
and
loves
then
it.
like him and Flava Flav, like I saw the
Yeah.
other day, Flava Flav
They're
was like
bankrolling
donate,
teams.
yeah, bankrolling teams. Insane.
Yeah, that's what we want our rich celebrities to use their money for. That's
Yes.
awesome. Let's go back to our rich celebrities spending money on things that we all can enjoy.
On
Well-
Olympics have been
at the
awesome.
Olympics.
I've
Super
got news for
uplifting.
you guys. If you're talking about celebrities with money, spending money on things, 27 minutes ago, Brett McMurphy tweeted, Florida International will hold a Tuesday news conference to announce a partnership between Pitbull and FIU. Let's go.
Yeah.
Pitbull.
I love it.
Mr. 305 himself.
Mr. Worldwide,
Yep.
Josh. Mr. Worldwide.
Yep.
He's gonna be it's Mr. Universe pretty soon.
My favorite part about that is like Miami University in Florida, not doing super well in football, largely
No.
speaking, from where they are, from where they expect to be most years. Pitbull's like, nah, you guys are probably fine. I'm going to go support Florida International. I love it.
Oh man.
Love it. Well, I feel like we should talk about the thing that's probably, even though we're watching the Olympics, this whole Michigan thing has come back up. And the timing of it all is very interesting. And what do I mean by that? Well, we know
Remember when
that Connor Stallions is part of a Netflix documentary that is airing on August 27th. Now, I think there are some people who are misinformed about what this documentary will be. I do not think that this is going to be him admitting to all of these things. Even the small trailer that we've seen is basically him saying, yeah, everyone's doing this. And you know what? He may be right. But the two things I've seen from this documentary are that clip, and then Dave Portnoy is involved, who is the most Michigan homer. Michigan could never do anything wrong. Everything Ohio State does is wrong kind of guy, and that's fine. If you know what, if you want to be like that, if that's what you enjoy doing as a fan, totally fine. What I'm trying to say is he is probably the least objective person on the planet when it comes to this kind of stuff. So if you are like us, and I'll say this off the top because I think it's a disclaimer that needs to be said. We are collectively, all three of us, are Ohio State fans. So take everything we're about to say with a grain of salt. However, I do think throughout this entire process, we have approached this subject with pretty good objectivity, I would like to say. I don't think it's going to be a thing where we get all these kind of revelations in Michigan admitting, oh yeah, we cheated, whoops. It's not going to be that. In the same way that the Florida documentary last summer was nothing earth-shattering. It was kind of a recap of
big swing and a miss.
Yeah, it was kind of a recap of those glory years with some drama mixed in there, but really it kind of left you lacking if you were really looking for an inside track to like the drama that went on and like what was urban really like. You got hints of it, but you never really got the meat and potatoes. I think this documentary is going to be exactly like that. Why do I bring that up? Because the NCAA has been making this investigation into Michigan way back until the middle, like almost a year ago, based on the calendar, right? And they've said nothing. And all of a sudden, this documentary comes around that's going to bring out some opinions and some people stating their version of the truth. Whether that's the actual version or not remains to be seen. The NCAA went ahead and said, hey, here's what's coming up in our report. We're just throwing this out here because this documentary is going to be airing in 3 weeks, and it contains quite a lot. Let me just read you the Cliff Notes version, and then we can discuss. So ESPN obtained the Notice of Allegations. So if you've seen the abbreviation NOA floating around, it means Notice of Allegations being sent to Michigan. 5 coaches committed level 1 violations, including Jim Harbaugh. Most of them are gone from Michigan at this point. Sharon Moore, current head coach, deleted 52 texts with said Connor Stallions the day the report came out, we learned also that Stallions was, in fact, that guy dressed in a disguise on the Central Michigan sideline, videoing Michigan State in week 1 last year. That was
Not
confirmed.
that we needed told that.
Yeah, we kind of, the silence
It
spoke
helps.
volumes
It
there.
helps to feel validated.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
And according to this notice of allegations, the scouting took place 58 times in 3 years. So, I guess the question from all this is, are we surprised by any of this? What do we think is going to happen from here? I mean, this is a can of worms. It's been opened. It's not going away anytime soon. But this is pretty wild.
Josh, for once, I have a 20-second take, and then I'm going to let you run with it.
Let's go.
First, not surprised at all. Like, I think, honestly, most of us kind of felt and knew all of this. Any Michigan staffer who says that they didn't know, that person is claiming stupid. Especially if you're Jim Harbaugh.
Yep.
Especially
Which
if
he did again today. He claimed again today in a Chargers press conference.
And I literally tweeted out in the moment, and I said, then you are saying that you are still guilty for lack of institutional control and ignorance, because you are. The NCAA is specifically spelled out in their guidelines saying, if it happened, I had no idea. And this is also the first time he's basically been like, oh, that happened? I had no idea. That's the first time Harbaugh's had that take. He's always at least been like, it never happened. Nothing happened. So this was even the first piece of him saying, oh, man, I had no idea. That would have never happened. He's literally talking to Jim on the sideline in videos and the offensive and defensive coordinators. Anyway, sorry, Josh. I said 20 seconds. But I'm not surprised by anything. If you watch Pete Thamel's interview on McAfee or really have read any of his articles, guys, they're not getting any kind of death penalty.
No.
So like, if you're a Buckeye fan, if you're a Big Ten fan, if you're just a fan of college football that feels a little spiteful right now because you've been done wrong, which you have, I would agree with you. You need to kind of come to grips with it now, because at worst, let me spell out what this penalty will be. Maybe one of the largest fines the NCAA's ever leveled out. That will happen. I almost guarantee that one. Perhaps scholarship reductions and recruiting restrictions. That will happen. And Sharon Moore might get suspended. Aaron, what week is the Texas game?
It's actually
week
week 2, I think.
Then 1 game. He's not getting a 2-game suspension. It'll only be 1. Maybe other assistants will be suspended as well. That is all that is going to happen. There won't be a postseason ban this year, given that's more likely still than any vacated wins, especially the championship. It won't happen. Like, I'm not even saying I agree with it. It won't happen.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't matter whether I agree with it or not. Josh, go ahead. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
I want to reiterate, no death penalty. We talked about this back when it first came out. It won't happen. One of the specific things, first off, we'll go technically. Technically, this is not a repeat violation. Like, by the letter of the rules that are so arbitrarily enforced, technically speaking, this is not a repeat offense. What they already got fined for was a recruiting violation or the whatever it was, and so technically it's different. They're not going to find a way to interpret repeat offense. That's the only situation in which they've brought in death penalty historically. 2, it's not going to happen because Michigan makes them too much money.
That's so true.
Who else in the Big Ten? Let's ignore the newcomers. I swear, if that stupid duck so much as it rushes against a stone wrong at Ohio Stadium. I will love the duck when they've earned. I know he's trying to make friends. I know that's what his Twitter says.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to make friends. If he really wanted to make friends, he would call their front offices and be able to get in. You can't just walk into these stadiums. I don't know what they do over in Eugene, but here we have gates, and you have to respect the gates. Anyway, I have no hate for the duck unless he breaks something at Ohio Stadium. Then see what happened in 2014. This is I was trying to find the numbers, but basically Harbaugh was on the chopping block. He was like, I don't know, let's just say 26-14, around that. And like, which by other standards was fine. But because he had lost against every major, at that point in time, it was like 2020, he had lost against every single major rival that Michigan cares to beat.
They're struggling
They
to even
do
beat
not-
Penn State.
They could not beat Penn State consistently. They could not beat Michigan State when they were down, and of course couldn't take Ohio State. And there was legitimate panic. And we noticed this too. I think he's like 40-3 since hiring Connor Stallions. Like, it was a miracle. And turns out, wasn't a miracle. It's really easy to win when you know what's coming up. I feel very validated because I work with a U of M alum. He got his PharmD there, so very smart guy. And we had a very nice conversation back in December. And I guess also January. I begrudgingly gave him a congratulations because he's a nice guy. And he's like, yeah, I'm just really real happy about these guys. And I'm like, all right, bud. You still proud? What I've seen that's shocked me the most is, and at this point, maybe I shouldn't shock me, is the amount of U of M truthers maybe that are going, oh man, isn't it? It's so sad to see what's become. I mean, here, I'm going to read you this tweet. It's sad to see what happens to a once proud fan base in Ohio. Michigan broke the Buckeyes. I'm like, hey, no. And it was just a tweet that said, as summary, it was 5 coaches committed level 1 violations. Sharon deleted 52 texts, was on the CMU sideline, illegally scouted 58 times in 3 years. Like, the idea is vacate everything. Nothing since 2021 is valid. The Husky one, Washington. Sorry, it was a few months late, but as long as it stayed in the Big Ten, right?
That's the question, though, Josh.
And
Wouldn't you say? Like, the NCAA is not going to take the title game away.
No.
But
no, 100%.
How will that be remembered by now? Michigan fans, they won't care. They won't care. They witnessed it. They saw it. I get that.
They're not going to give back the trophy. Yeah.
Right. I even get it from their perspective. Sure. You witnessed it. You're not going to ever go back on that. But how's the rest of the country actually going to remember that title? I don't think too fondly. Yeah. And I think my other question that I want both of you to kind of, because I thought about this too. What happens to Central Michigan in this?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
because they knew.
Because he had Central Michigan's gear on. They have still not done anything to anyone there at Central Michigan.
They did fire somebody, but it was someone like way low down, and maybe it wasn't even related.
Right. And that was not just like a GA got Connor Stallions on the sideline. And if that did happen that easily, somebody else should be fired too. Because that can't happen. But like, some people have even been saying, is Central Michigan going to get hit harder maybe even than Michigan will by the NCAA for clearly, what's the right word?
Enabling.
Enabling. I was thinking something a little more evil than that.
Conspiring.
Aiding and
abetting. Conspiring.
Yes. Conspiracy.
Perfect, guys.
What,
very
it's illegal to have
good.
Conversations with friends now?
Bring that clock out, Josh.
What, it's illegal. It's illegal.
It's illegal to have conversations with friends on your sideline wearing the same team gear, and I'm sorry. This is a total side thing. The most random part is that like he was recording with the glasses. There's no way that was good footage. Like that's the one thing I'm like, how would have that been good footage
I've looked at
to the other sideline? There's no way. There's no way. So like, not only did you get caught, which I guess joke's on us because they won, but like for Connor Stallions, like not only did you get caught, you got caught like in a really, really stupid way. I just can't believe anybody found it. But I'm also like, what other schools did he do this at? I'm sure it wasn't just
Sure.
Central Michigan. But
Yeah.
anyway,
He's
sorry.
probably going to tell
That
us,
was-
hopefully, in the documentary. That's again, maybe I'm too hopeful that he's even going to share something like that. But
he
I'm
won't
hopeful.
share
Sure.
anything.
Because because
He won't
also
share
keep in
anything.
mind
Too
if
soon.
he is sharing which schools he was doing on the sidelines, does that not also implicate those other schools then?
Yes,
and maybe
it
he
does.
doesn't
It's
care.
not a closed
Exactly.
investigation.
Yeah, but he was, not. I think the words the NCAA used was he was not cooperating with the investigation, which means that I think one of the things it means is that he didn't give them his phone, which some of the other assistants did. Apparently, Sharon Moore did after he deleted a bunch of texts. But the whole thing is super interesting. And Johnny, the question you ask, I think, is really the big question. What is the NCAA going to do now? Because they've made it public what has happened. It's all laid out. Now, what are they going to do? And I think fines, I think that's going to be a big part of it. I think Sharon Moore could definitely get suspended because, Josh, you are correct that at the university level, this is not a repeat offender thing. For Sharon Moore, it is because he was already in trouble for 2020 violations during COVID. So for him, it actually is. So that's where that part gets interesting. But
Yeah.
I'm with you guys. The NCAA is not going to take away this national title. I really don't see it. Why did they take away USC's title? It's not because they were quote unquote cheating. It was because they had ineligible players playing.
Yes.
One name in particular, Reggie Bush. For whatever reason, for right or wrong, the NCAA vacates wins way more often when it's and not that we've had a ton of cheating scandals, to be fair, but they've vacated wins way more often when it's an issue with ineligible players. Kentucky just got hit with this. They had ineligible players. They lost their wins for like 2 years.
They had the 10-win season got taken away,
Yep.
which for Kentucky's a big deal.
Yep.
Not national
Oh, yeah.
title big, but it's something.
And it's not like they were necessarily cheating on the field. Now, you can,
Right.
again, you can argue, well, okay, playing ineligible players is a form of cheating. Sure, we can go down that path. Fine, whatever. But right now, this issue is Michigan, as we know it, gained an advantage on the field by doing this. How much? I truly don't think we'll ever know. And I don't think we've made any more progress today than we did when we were talking about this months ago. Like, how much did this really impact Michigan? Based on their win-loss record and the convenient timing of it all, I would say that it was fairly significant, but there's no real way to know. Here's the big kicker, though, for me. In the last few years, the NCAA has lost more and more power. Every single lawsuit they enter in, they lose. Michigan will fight back. I don't know in what form, whether it's through court, whether it's appealing, which might be the same thing. I don't even know. Michigan's going to fight back. What power does the NCAA actually have in this scenario? Because they have lost
None.
over and over again. And they continue to lose, by the way. You can basically just pay players now. That's just like not even NIL. You don't even need the veil of NIL to do it. You can pretty much just pay players. The NCAA can't do anything to stop you.
Did you see Baylor's coaches' T-shirts this week, Aaron?
Yeah, we pay players.
We pay players.
Yep.
And listen, we're not even saying like that's right or wrong.
Yeah,
Just
it's just the facts. This is what's happening.
The NCAA was against that. But Aaron, I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to say that too. A great example was Tennessee's recruiting violations. That was kind of hanging over, honestly, Heupel's head and the program's head going into last year. That is a normal situation where that would have been a bowl ban. That would have been suspension of coaches. But whether the coaches were there or not, when it happened was always irrelevant with the NCAA. They always punished the program. And sorry if that punished your current players who had nothing to do with it. They didn't care. What did they do? Levied a big fine, took away a few scholarships, put them on probation, which means very little anymore. And that's pretty much what Michigan's going to get too. Now, I would argue it's a far less crime that Tennessee committed, and it was further removed from that coaching staff and those players. But what you just said, they lost their teeth. They have no teeth anymore. They have nothing to do to these programs. And you're absolutely right. Even if Sharon Moore just gets suspended, if it's anything more than a game, I'm sure they'll appeal. And that appeals process could take over a year. So no matter what gets slapped to Michigan, unless it's just like a fine, they're probably going to appeal. And even if they don't win, it will be pushed. Like, yeah. So especially if they somehow wanted to give them a postseason ban, Michigan will fight like hell to get out of that and appeal that. So don't get your hopes up if that's what the outcome you were looking for, because it's not going to happen.
No, this has been Michigan top down, basically, athletics at least, has built such a narrative. Did we forget the on-field protests, the free Harbaugh T-shirts, the Michigan versus everybody? By the way, another ripoff of Ohio.
He was clearly in jail.
Yeah, or dead.
Yeah, one or the other.
Guys, he was at a Denny's 3 blocks from the stadium. It's okay.
Yeah, he definitely was. He's fine. I promise you. You can call him right now.
It should have been like they built such a strong narrative. Something like this, even if, like, for some reason, every single one of the administration grows a conscience tonight and goes, "Oh shoot, yeah, we should probably come forward and self-impose some things so that we don't." By the way, I don't want to be salty about it because we've already talked about this. The things that Michigan fans are defending, and I'm not saying every Michigan fan, I'm just saying most of the ones I've seen today.
The chronically online,
I'll round up.
Online ones, at least. Yep.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and round up to every Michigan fan. I think that's fair. I get one piece of I get my one win today. When Tressel got roasted, like publicly shamed for allowing some of his players to trade certain things they had earned for things they wanted, tattoos, cars, whatever. I remember oh my gosh, Ohio State has fallen so far. And like, there was frustration from the Ohio State fan base, but it was not the scale of like violation here. It is so heavy, and the amount of denial that has happened is so large. The narrative has been built up so large. This cannot simply fizzle out. We will probably see reverberations of this. Like you guys said, the appeals process could take another year. Then the 30 for 30 is going to come out on it. Stallions might do a tell-all. We don't know. Sharon is probably going to cry again on TV. Probably game 3 after the suspension comes back. They'll lose to Texas, and then they'll come back and they'll beat whoever they're playing week 3, and everything's going to be okay. Or we're going to hear, oh, every team's doing this, because there was one report that came out. I think ESPN was like, oh yeah, there's a general understanding that you're doing the sports equivalent of cooking the books. Like, oh, everyone was doing some version of this.
In fairness, I did in college too.
This is
those homework assignments were brutal, man. I cooked some of those accounting books.
Oh boy.
They've given you plenty of degrees at this point that they cannot ungive you. I would not mention that at the homecoming, but
yeah, probably not.
But no, it's the equivalent. What Michigan's going to do is they're going to say, well, everyone goes agrees to go 10 over the speed limit when they just got pulled over for going 105 and a 45. They're going, everyone speeds a little bit. No, yes, but not to. This is clearly different, right? You can see that, right? And they're going to say no, and so it's going to be long, annoying. It's not going to be satisfying. Like right now, I'm not going to ever feel satisfied with. Did I think Ohio State was good enough? It's not helpful to play what if games anyway. But even in this case, I think if they were going to cheat against us, this past year was not going to be oh, this is our breakout year. This is when we were really going to do things. You never know, but it's never good to play what if games like that.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a long, frustrating, no good answer. Should we have known after Harbaugh pretty much had no interest in returning after winning the Natty. The only thing that he was hired to do. I mean, we all knew that was shady, but retrospectively, it should have even been more shady.
I will say this, as far as if you compare Michigan to Ohio State with Jim Tressel, and I don't know if it's apples to oranges in a lot of ways, but if you look at Pete Carroll getting out the door, just perfect timing to the NFL when USC's hammer hit. Jim Harbaugh kind of doing the same. For better or worse, Jim Tressel at least took the bullet for Ohio State.
Oh yeah.
Owned it.
To what end, I don't know. Like, what difference did that make? I don't know. But at least, for what it's worth, he eventually owned up to it, took the bullet.
Yeah.
That was the last time we ever saw him coach. Jim Harbaugh, Pete Carroll, hanging out in the NFL for the foreseeable future. And they're free to do that if the NCAA doesn't find anything truly wrong with what Jim Harbaugh did, which that does not seem to be the case since he has been given a level 1 violation. But at this point, who cares if you're Harbaugh, right? Like, you won the national championship. Michigan fans are forever grateful for you. You're not getting
They're not gonna care.
anything more than a slap on the wrist. That's the bottom line of this, in my opinion. Wherever you fall, whether you're a Buckeye fan, whether you're just a general college football fan, don't get excited for punishments that are going to be handed out to Michigan, because you will be disappointed. It's not going to be that. And you know what? Maybe I'll be wrong in a few weeks. Maybe they'll come out and really swing the hammer and go for the fences. But no. I just don't see it. I don't see it. So that's really what I have there. I do have one other school that is in some drama, let's say, and it's Colorado.
This
really,
is a more fun conversation.
This was more fun, yes. We got the heavy conversation out of the relatively speaking, too.
And this, honestly, what I'm seeing from Colorado is more heavy than Michigan.
Oh, are you you're talking about something I don't know about that.
Well,
shoot. Okay.
So
I thought we were just talking about them not wanting to hit the wide receivers and quarterback in practice.
Well, no, that's a whole thing too.
I just saw the.
Yeah, let me set the stage for this.
Sorry, I just saw the article.
Yeah. Let me set the stage for this, because anytime you criticize Colorado, the natural response from a small but vocal pocket of fans are, "Oh, okay, you just hate Deion Sanders. You hate to see him do well at anything." No, actually, if you can go back and listen to past episodes. We're very excited for Deion Sanders when he arrived. We were excited to see Colorado getting a lot more of the spotlight in college football. We were also very realistic and accurate when it came to reporting how Colorado would actually do on the field. We predicted in our magazine 4-8. They went exactly 4-8. This year, we're going to, not to spoil the magazine, but we're predicting something fairly similar, maybe slightly better. And it's because just we have eyeballs and we watch a lot of college football. But there's
same issues too.
Same issues. And now there's more issues that are popping up off the field, I would say. This report is from Athlon. It's by Steve Corder. It came out a couple days ago. The title of the article is Deion Sanders' Chaotic Culture Turns into Locker Room Violence in Colorado. And I won't go through every situation, but it's basically some of what we've seen on social media, let's say, as far as how Deion has treated former players. Turns out that some of that treatment has kind of been going on with current players. There's been a lot of bullying. There's been some violence. There's been locker room fights. And make no mistake, that kind of stuff happens in locker rooms all over the country. I mean, heck, we had a kind of a fight, if you want to call it that, between the Lions and the Giants today at their joint practice. Mm-hmm. Like, this kind of stuff happens. What does not happen is violence over like $10,000 bets or Deion showing clear favorites. His sons are bullying other players. You have a 5-star recruit who ends up leaving and then talks about all the issues there. There's multiple anonymous players coming out who were in this locker room with all kinds of information as far as like fights in the locker room. And it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. So it's wild. It's wild stuff. So why do I bring that up? I bring it up more just for the attention or to bring your attention towards the fact that there's a lot happening in Colorado. And on one hand, it's been really good to get the extra publicity. It's a program that, again, we're all in our mid-20s. Well, I'd turn 28, so I don't know if I can. Now, here's a question. Is 28 mid-20s or is that late 20s? Is late 20s
late
just
20s,
29?
sorry, man.
You just graduated. I'm
Oh,
sorry. You just graduated.
And
everybody
I was
wish
telling
Aaron a happy birthday. That was earlier this week.
wish it to him. Wish it to him right now.
Because I needed
We're gonna give you
apparently. I'm in
5
my
seconds.
late 20s. Anyways, the point is I'm old.
Yeah.
The other point is that I'm not old enough where I remember Colorado being really good at football. But those that are older
it's the
do.
worst age.
They were a powerhouse. Folks that are our age and younger don't know that. Deion Sanders was thought to have been a savior to bring them back to that point. As time passes, I just don't know if that's going to happen. Not because I don't think he's capable of doing it, but because we keep getting stories like this, and because I'm not so sure he's interested in sticking around Colorado that long, frankly. And maybe he never was. When his sons are not there playing anymore, is Deion really going to be at Colorado? I have my doubts.
Aaron, would you like a good recommendation?
Yes.
For those who were not alive when Colorado was good, pretty much us, it was basically around the time we were all being birthed. 30 for 30 has a Colorado edition, if you will.
Yep.
The Gospel According to Mac. Very good 30 for 30. And shout out to the podcast, you get a little bit more backstory on the name of Fifth and Goal and where we get it from. We have a video of that, but you
That's
get
true.
even more backstory on the 30 for 30. So give it a watch.
Yep. Anyways, that's all I really have to say on that. It's just almost a PSA of like, hey, just so you know, we're actually less than 3 weeks away from college football. Which is that's
So
the good
close.
part. That's the really, really,
ready.
really good part. But just as a heads up, hey, there's some funky things happening in Boulder.
This is
Could be a
probably
powder
going to be. It could be a powder keg. I would say this is also could be, and again, I don't want to be too confident in my predictions. I do not like giving Johnny guarantees. But between what we've been seeing with NIL deals, and I don't know, guys with the last name of Knight saying, "Oh, unlimited NIL for the team that I desperately want to win at least one natty before I die."
More power to the man. I have no problem.
I mean,
with
listen.
that. More power to the man.
This Georgia's seemingly continuing
Oh.
offenses.
Oh boy. Yeah.
There's a very chaotic nature to college football that has been latent, but seems to be intensifying. And this year of college football may not look like future seasons of college football. You might see some reactions if the NCAA can't figure out what's going on with NIL, if they can't figure out more concrete ways to make sure that players are not, I don't know, committing every single vehicular crime that can exist, if coaches aren't properly incentivized to control their own locker rooms. Because I noticed in that article, most of the witnesses not only were players, but also fellow coaches, assistants or whatever. The article didn't always get into specificity, but there's in the win at all costs, we're going to expand across the, I will say, get out of jail free card. That was a beautiful new Big Ten commercial. Like, I liked it.
Yep.
Beautiful.
I'm not confident that whatever is going to happen this year of football is going to be indicative of the rest of the next generation of college football, if you will. So just hold on. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming.
Yeah. Yep.
One thing remains: Texas will not be back.
Can we say that though? Because they made the playoff.
No,
Like as
Josh,
much as I
they're
want to
back.
say yes, they're back.
They
And
are.
here's
It's got to be
They're
repeat. It's got to be
back.
repeat.
You
Got to be
know,
repeat.
no,
Nope.
no,
You got to at least do it 2 years in a row.
playoff,
That's my
especially
standard.
The 4-team playoff that counts. 12-team
No,
playoff that
Not
doesn't
in my
count.
mind. I'm closer than them. I'm closer to them than you are. So I'm.
They were one like play, and I'm not saying a Hail Mary, like 3 yards away from, honestly, a better Quinn Ewers throw away from being in the national title game.
Yeah.
Sorry, Quinn.
And
I do actually like you.
Not
but
that they
was a
beat
bad throw.
Michigan, but they match up way better against Michigan. You'll actually see in the second week of college football.
You'll find out.
Defensive tackles. I don't know this year.
Yeah, true.
They lost those defensive tackles. We'll see.
They did. We did get a top 25 coaches poll. I don't necessarily know if we need to dwell on it because who cares, frankly. But
we'll have our own poll.
Exactly. We do recommend the 5th and goal poll, not just because it rhymes, although that is an excellent reason, but because it's compiled of people who actually watch football. Unlike now, the coaches poll, good for they're watching football, but they're primarily watching their own. The AP poll, they go to bed at 7 p.m. Eastern time, so their opinion does not count. The college football playoff is just a whole mess by itself. So if you're looking for what we, as close to ground truth as there is in the poll, I do believe the 5th and goal poll is it. And we've got some, you can look at what we've done in the past to back it up. We've always been objective when it comes to Ohio State. There's been lots of comments like, oh, you guys are just trying to do the reverse favoritism of Ohio State. Like, no, we just think that over the last 2 years that Michigan was largely better than Ohio State. Sadly, that came true. We kind of know why, but stuff like that. We really try to focus in on what's actually happening. I will say top 10 of the coaches poll, Georgia's number 1, no surprise there. Ohio State number 2, getting a handful of first place votes. Oregon number 3, Texas 4, Alabama 5, Ole Miss 6, Notre Dame 7, Michigan 8, Penn State 9, Florida State 10. Now, let me read this to you again, but instead of teams, I'm going to read conferences. Get ready for this, because this is college football in 2024. SEC, Big Ten, Big Ten, SEC, SEC, SEC. Oh, hey, Notre Dame, Big Ten, Big Ten. That's your top 9.
ACC.
Yeah, ACC. Good job, Florida State. Then SEC, SEC.
For now.
Yep. Yeah, because they're trying to leave. We haven't talked about that. Florida State's trying to get the heck out of the ACC. Man. All that to be said, the nice thing, I'm not an expansionist by any stretch of the imagination. It is nice that the Big 12 will have a top 4 seed. Are they deserving of it? Probably not, but it's nice that they will get one. No. It is nice that the ACC is getting a top 4 seed. Why? Because I can sit there and think, oh, wow, one of these teams is getting into the playoffs. The playoff isn't everything. You should do yourself a favor, watch college football. Take your college football playoff lenses off occasionally. Watch some college football. It will do you good. Especially
watch the 4-2 against the 3-3 team. Yep. It might be more fun.
There's so much.
Yep.
Be more fun.
Yep.
Watch only Maction.
That's a great strategy.
Yes.
Yes. Yep. All right, picks of the week. Unfortunately for Josh and I, there's only been a couple of things decided, and Johnny has somehow got points again. So obviously the slam dunk 1500 Katie Ledecky,
the safest pick ever.
We should have, but we were too slow.
Food as a motivator. As soon as food was a motivator, I started taking it seriously. I'm getting all these picks now.
Yeah, Ledecky winning the 1500. That was about as sure can be. She won. Yeah. She now owns the top 20 times in the 1500 meters. She's the most decorated female Olympian ever, which is awesome. The Bears also won a rain-shortened Hall of Fame game. Surely if the fourth quarter was going to be played, the Texans' fifth-string players were going to pull that out for Josh and I, but that got canceled. So that means our current standings is Johnny with 10.
I will be protesting
I've got 6. Josh has 6 as well. So we do have some things up in the air. Josh and I both have some water polo events that could give us points. Johnny's got the women in the 4x100 meter relay. So that's still to come. This week, we're not forgetting about the Olympics. A lot has happened. Obviously, lots of gold in U.S. gymnastics, lots of medals overall. As of right now, the U.S. has the most total medals, the most silver medals, the most bronze medals. The only thing we're lacking is, as of right now, this exact second, China's got 21 golds, the United States with 20. But everything else has gone well. Noah Lyles, again, that photo finish. Still some obvious opportunities. U.S. basketball, maybe U.S. women's soccer. They eked out a nice, I'll call it nice. I mean, Japan gave everything to the United States.
Great game.
Yeah, great game.
Rodman's goal, awesome. Very good. They play Germany rematch in the semifinal tomorrow.
Yeah. And a game they won, what, 3-0 in the group stage, I believe?
4-1.
Oh, 4-1. Same.
Yeah, same difference, really. Yep.
Yeah. So this week on Picks of the Week, we are highlighting the Olympics again, but we are highlighting the new event. It is breakdancing, and it's happening this weekend. So whether you like it, whether you don't like it, it's happening. And it's happening on, if you're wanting to watch the girls' competition, it's on Friday, August 9th. If you're wanting to watch the guys' competition, it's on Saturday, August 10th. So we are picking your choice of competitor. So there's 16 girls, 16 guys. Now, again, they call them B girls, B boys. That just feels wrong. No offense to all you people,
Amen.
but why are we calling it that? Anyways, I don't know. I'll pick on the men's side. I'm going to go Jeffrey Lewis, United States.
Why, Aaron?
United States. That's the only reason. I don't know. I didn't even look up rankings. I know nothing. Josh looks very studious. It looks like he's ready to get a point this
I'm going to
week,
be disappointed if Josh doesn't win this pick. But Josh, I do have a question. And this is maybe one of my beef with breaking being in the Olympics, is because wouldn't one argue that dance is a form of art? And can you really truly rank art? Is it not all in the eye of the beholder?
So don't quote Ron Swanson to me. Anything could be anything. So what is Olympics if not basically distilled elements of war training? What is running if not a precursor to like a test of endurance? What is javelin?
Sure,
If not,
I get that one.
We want endurance
on the nose.
with strength.
Hammer
wrestling,
throw.
Hammer throw. See, equestrian things. How well can I control my horse and more? This is all. It writes itself.
I don't know if the
Is
dressage would have happened in war. That's wild, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of. It's a bit. It's been 2,000 years. They're not. I mean, it's not. It's a little far away from its original purpose, but the core is there. Follow me on the core. What is breakdancing, if not training for evasion maneuvers for melee combats?
I don't know if I'm going to agree with you on that, but that was a good argument. And so I appreciate the effort on that argument. It's a good argument.
Hey, you remember the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie? You remember the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie?
Yes.
What did Star-Lord do at the end?
I literally have no memory of what happened in that movie.
He put his headphones on, started his tape player, and danced. You know what he did? He won the fight. Whatever the main bad guy was, he goes, "I'm gonna fight you," and he goes, "Awesome," and then starts dancing, and they end up winning.
I will say the competitions they do call them battles. And Josh is dead. There he is.
Have died.
Who are you picking, Josh?
I'm going off of the. I was trying to pick a normal. I was trying to use a little bit of thought in this, and then I realized they all are coming in with nicknames, and so I'm picking based off the nickname that I think is like the most fun. Just at 6:00 in the evening on a Monday. And I'm going with the 2023 European Games winner, representative from France, Denis Civil. I'm assuming because it's French and they're pronouncing his name.
Good pronunciation, Josh.
But he goes by. Thank you. I do what I can. But he goes by Danny Dan.
Oh.
And frankly, when I had the idea of I should pick based off nickname, most of the nicknames are just like their name.
Yeah.
So Jeffrey Lewis's nickname is Jeffro.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, neat.
Now that I'm
Midden
looking
van
at this,
Gork
you're right, because
from the
you've
Netherlands.
given attention to
Menno.
this. I'm wondering if Jeffro's a bad choice. Because there's someone on here
Too
that's
late. You already
Quake
picked.
or Phil Wizard.
Oh, Quake.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Sun Shen
you wanna
from
go by,
Chinese Taipei.
Oh.
But I could also
I'm-
pick Jeffrey Dan RP J Attack. But if I feel
Nah.
like J weakens it. It needs to be like, well, I just want Jack Attack. That's what I want. I want some rhyming, but his name's
Yeah.
not Jack, and you can't make Jeffrey into Jack. I don't think, right?
No, that's John.
That's right. So I just needed confirmation. Thank you. I'm going with Danny Dan. Denis Seville from France. And if I'm mispronouncing it, sorry.
No, I bet you got it. I am going with Victor Montalvo.
Ooh.
And he's American, so he's the betting favorite, I think. So I'm going with him.
Dang it,
I know
Johnny.
nothing.
We got to stop letting him do this. Josh, we are vibing
but
too
what
close
is-
to the sun.
What does betting favorite even mean in breaking? I don't
Oh,
even
true.
know. Like, again,
Vegas
it's
has
closer to like
Vegas has no clue
gymnastics where
how
it's
to-
like judgment, but at least in gymnastics, it's like, here's my routine. Like, and so you're critiquing each, like Simone Biles' like starting scores, like insane. It's through the roof to almost like her baseline, like the floor that she can get for a score is sometimes higher than if another woman goes out there and does their like vault could get if they did it perfectly. So like, and maybe that's
Her
how they'll
vault
score breaking. Like, I can't remember, Aaron. I did watch the video.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
forget.
I think
But
it's kind of similar,
It's
but
going
it's
to
a
be
little bit
scored
more
closer
fluid
to that.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, but it's closer
Yeah.
to that. It's not
No,
track
just
and field where
real
it's
quick-
just like threw rock further.
Mm-hmm.
I was faster.
Yeah. Yeah. And real quick, shout out to Simone. All the things you already know. Her vault, she did a double
Is it double
tuck
pike
thing that has never been. It was like a double. Yeah. That's the first time a woman has done that on the vault. She's doing.
Yeah.
She got so bored of all the women's moves, she started just bringing in men's moves.
Well,
And if you
I
look,
remember.
She
I didn't know
rotated
that.
on it. She
Yeah.
could have gone like she had to. Theoretically, she should have pulled back a little bit. She like the amount of power she had. Also, a little bit. Also, can every Olympic like announcer please stop talking about how she's the oldest Olympic gymnast to medal in like 50 plus years, and she's 27? Can you guys stop
Mm-hmm.
that?
Ancient job.
I don't
Josh. A miracle. A miracle that she's there.
It's that
a miracle.
that one a miracle. An evergreen tweet. Yeah. Oh look, 27 and still competitive. Man, how their body hasn't just snapped in half. I'm like, because of the frailty, you know. I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Aaron just turned 28. Me and Josh are still 27. So, you know, just barely hanging on.
I'm not far behind.
Barely hanging on.
Yeah, I need you for the next like 3 months. I need you to tell me what being elderly is like, Aaron. That way I can accurately prepare for it.
I'll say this. The only thing I know is that if anyone says that, 27, 28, 29 is like a player's athletic peak, they are straight up lying to you. That's just not true.
How dare they?
Yeah. It's not true. Or at least not true for me. But like, I'm already playing pickleball. I'm that kind of elderly. So Josh, you wanted to know how elderly is like? I played pickleball Friday. I played Saturday. I played Sunday. That's what being elderly is like. So, yep.
I mean, it's for your back. You got to make sure.
Yeah, that's right. All right, I've got some bad baseball trivia. It's our friend who doesn't know he's our friend. It's Brooks Gate. He's back with another great trivia question. This one is your Major League Baseball team stadium located closer to a liquor store, marijuana dispensary, or a church? So 3 very different things. So we'll see. And according to Brooks Gate, this is based on the distance measured from the pitcher's mound at each stadium.
From the pitchers, man.
Which does that make a difference? I don't know. I don't know.
Precision. I appreciate it.
Like in the stadium doesn't count. I don't think there's a church inside any stadium,
Yeah, I don't
but
think
I
so.
could be wrong. Okay.
I'm going to assume not.
Okay.
I'm going to assume not. So
Stadiums can be weird sometimes, you know.
yeah, true. Josh, do you want to guess what we'll start with you, and we'll start with the team that you are right next door to. Texas Rangers, liquor store, marijuana dispensary, or church?
Marijuana dispensary would be wild because it is not yet
Not legal?
if you want your good stuff. Yeah, exactly. Man, it's Texas, and so both liquor store and church are really viable options. However, what if you go to, and when you guys come down, I'll take you to Gerald.
You've been there. You know better
have a
than
good
us.
time.
Just guessing wildly.
I have been, and I'm like 100% it's liquor store because it's right next, and this is going to sound terrible. There's like the stadiums are right there. Six Flags is there. This is going to sound terrible.
Oh.
I cannot imagine. It's zoned for, it's basically begging for a liquor store to be like within a quarter mile.
I'm with Josh. Liquor store.
Yeah, I don't know what the distance is, but that is the correct answer. The Texas Rangers are closer to a liquor store, if not multiple. Josh, yeah, that's probably pretty good. All right, the Cincinnati Reds, do we think they're closer to a liquor store, a marijuana dispensary, or a church?
All three are on the board now.
And you were just there on yesterday, Johnny.
That's right.
Yes, I'm talking about that and what I'm following.
Oh, okay, all right, I won't spoil it then.
Yeah.
I'm sure it went well.
Yeah, it went great.
Yep.
The Reds are known for playing great at all times.
Yep.
I will say church. Cincinnati is an old city. I bet there's a church nearby on the riverbank that I'm not thinking of. I'll go church.
Okay.
I'm actually going to stay with liquor store. It's been a while since I've been in kind of the ballpark, or sorry, that little baseball village. But the last time I was there, I just feel like I remember seeing one. So I'm going to stay.
I'd be
liquor store.
surprised if it's a dispensary. I would.
Yeah,
I think it's too soon.
Too soon. Yep.
Yeah.
You're correct. It's not that. It is a church, though, Johnny. That's the correct answer.
Whoa,
Josh, I mean, they're very well, maybe a liquor store quite close on your way, but apparently the church is closer. All right. Johnny in the lead 2-1. Now, Johnny, since you are in the lead, I'll give you the power of choice. You can choose which major league team you think is closer to what thing.
I would like to pick. I'm sorry. What is the Boston Red Sox? And I will say church.
Okay.
For Boston Red Sox. Again, old city. I could be wrong, but I don't know if weed's legal in Boston.
Okay.
In Massachusetts, but I'm gonna go with church. Boston.
Okay.
Boston Red Sox.
And Josh, do you want to pick the Boston Red Sox, or do you want to go with a completely different team, completely different thing?
Oh, I see. I would like well, see, I don't want to just stereotype and go and get some easy points, but I would love marijuana dispensary for the Colorado Rockies.
Okay.
I bet that's not right, though.
It's not.
I don't know.
Apparently, it's
not.
closer
That's
to
the
a
thing.
liquor
That's the
store.
thing.
It's not.
You're right, though. I mean,
I said I wanted to.
Oh,
I didn't say I
okay.
committed. See, come on. I'm gonna stay with Boston.
All right, and you think that's
I'm gonna go. I'm sticking with my good old fashioned liquor store.
okay?
Because I know enough
I'm going.
about.
Let it
I
know.
just finished my
Josh
church.
knows where the liquor stores are, and I know where the churches are. Just
Yeah.
I just finished my church history specifying like North England religions, and I know how I know specifically what churches are there. So I'm like, I can gather. I can make an inference. So I'm going to go with liquor store.
Okay. It is not a liquor store, and it is also not a church. It is, in fact, apparently,
it's a dispensary.
Apparently, a dispensary is closer to
man.
Fenway Park compared to the other two.
I am shocked. Actually,
Yeah, I would not have guessed that either.
I'm surprised.
Yep. All right.
Wow. Okay.
One more, unless we have a tie. Josh, you get the power of choice.
I would love to pick the Braves.
Okay.
No. Yeah, we'll do the Braves.
Okay.
And I'll go Trying to remember where specifically they are in Atlanta. I'll go church. I'll stereotype the Southeast. I'll go
okay.
church.
Yep. Johnny, what do you think for Atlanta?
I have to pick Atlanta.
Yeah, we'll make you pick Atlanta.
Okay. And my heart set on San Francisco.
Oh, okay. Well, then San Francisco. Then I don't care. It's bad trivia.
Okay.
There's no rules.
It's bad. Yeah, this is not. Yeah, this is not.
San Francisco dispensary.
Okay. You have both.
That's not stereotyping.
Yeah, not at all. You have both selected baseball teams who share the same thing. Unfortunately, they share a liquor store, so you are both incorrect. Yeah. So I think at the end, Josh is the winner because Johnny's the winner. Johnny had 2 points. Josh, I believe you.
Nope. It's
had
bad
one.
baseball trivia, meaning
That you win.
Whatever you said first.
Yeah, low score wins.
This is not golf.
We did get someone in chat saying that, by the way, you can join us on YouTube as we record this podcast, typically at 7 p.m. Eastern time on Mondays, although that time TBD in case we don't want to miss Monday Night Football. We'll figure that out later. He says in Boston, there are about as many mobile dispensaries as there are Dunkin' Donuts. And if you know how many Dunkin' Donuts there are in Massachusetts,
do mobile count?
That's a good question. I don't know for sure, but one would think yes, possibly.
Josh, would you like to throw out the results of this? I didn't know. I thought it had to be brick and mortar.
You won. Why do you care?
I don't know. I was saying if they're mobile dispensaries, yeah. Fine.
Well, I'll read you the list of everyone.
I don't. It's
according to Brooksgate, liquor stores, we covered a lot of the teams actually. Diamondbacks, Brewers, Braves, Rangers, Rockies, Giants, Nationals, Yankees. Churches actually make up the largest group. Cleveland, Miami, Baltimore, the Dodgers, believe it or not, Kansas City, Detroit, Mets, San Diego, Minnesota, the other Los Angeles, the Angels, the Reds, Cardinals, White Sox, and Astros. And by the way, pouring out, if you know a White Sox fan, please check on their well-being. It is so bad that if you take away their 2 humongous losing streaks, they would still have the worst record in their division. It is so bad.
It's not that good of a division.
No, it's not. It's not. All right, that's what I'm following. That was long, but there you go.
Josh.
Oh, yeah. I'm following things. What did I say I'm following? Oh, yes. I know what I'm following. I have 2 things. One, in honor of Aaron turning the ripe old age of 28, just nearing retirement. One thing I've seen on Twitter is, and I've seen this probably for the past month or so, and every week someone different tweets it out, and it gets thrown into my For You page because I click on them, and I click on all of them. I love them. What is all of us, by the way, are in that like millennial, Gen Z, like in between area. I think most of the time we would consider ourselves millennial, but for the purposes of this, what is your boomer take? What is one thing, period, is your boomer take?
Oh, man.
I hate, this might not even be a boomer take, people playing things out loud in public.
Yep.
It's not a boomer thing, though, because the boomers are the ones that are doing that. It's actually, true. It's kind of very anti-boomer, actually.
That's okay. Then I'm a Gen Zer then. So I'm anti-boomer. See, this is where it's nice. We're in the like weird hybrid zone. We claim whichever one is most convenient. I can't stand that. That is driving me nuts. You'll be on an airplane. And this goes for people talking loudly on a phone, like taking a phone call on an airplane too. Mm-hmm. Like, come on, man. What are we doing? Sometimes the people put it on speakerphone. I'm like, what on earth is happening? But usually it's like somebody's playing music or TikTok or like on TikTok. I'm like, what is happening? And it's just, so I don't know. It's so loud.
Compilations of people screaming. Like, it's not even.
It's the weirdest thing. And if you have multiple people doing it at once, I don't know. I get a headache after a little while. It's crazy. Yeah. I'm old. So I don't know if that's old man screaming at a cloud, but that's me.
Yeah.
Do either of you guys watch YouTube videos at greater than one, like normal speed?
No.
No.
I've done a podcast at 1.25, 1.5 before.
Okay.
And I figured,
Yeah.
I did learn that they were actually they were talking really slowly,
Mm.
but it was only one specific podcast. Normally I don't do that.
See, I'm trying to think. Honestly, I find myself double tapping to go back 10 seconds and
Okay.
Oh, I do that all the time
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
I zone
so
out.
I feel like I'm
Oh,
the
yeah,
opposite.
for sure.
So.
Because
I
the reason I bring that up is because my younger brother's like Austin, especially, who's been on this show a couple times, he like routinely watches YouTube at like way faster, and I like that just blows my mind.
Dang.
I can't do that. Like it's an impressive skill he has, but I'm wondering like is that me being a boomer, or is that just me being dumb? I don't know. Maybe all the
There
above.
are certain. Maybe all the above.
Is he really enjoying the podcast though? Is he
I think so.
savoring it? This is what I tell people when I eat slow. I am enjoying my food.
And it actually is very appropriate that you would be saying that instead of eating. Please, we're trying to get to the movie on time.
Well,
I'll buy you a bigger popcorn.
not to,
when we
Josh.
get
One
there,
quick
please.
point about
Just-
eating, real quick, before you
can't
actually
buy
get
me a
into
bigger
your
popcorn. I get the
punchline.
biggest one.
Johnny and I, right after this, are literally going to B-dubs to do the unlimited boneless. So,
I've
but
had an
the-
apple. That's it.
that's wild.
I'm going-
Your preparation is insane.
Your-
The question is though, will Johnny actually make good on the unlimited? Like by the time I've downed like the most
You're gonna
wings
have,
any
like,
human
40
should,
You're gonna have.
Johnny
you're
will
gonna
just
have
have the
45
normal amount of
wings.
wings he would have normally ordered
There's
at a
this-
B-dubs.
See, here's the thing. There's this pizza place I want to take y'all to, and it's like Brazilian steakhouse style pizza
Oh,
place down in
what?
Dallas.
That's crazy.
And what it is you pay a flat fee, which is not that much money. I'm forgetting the name of the place, otherwise I'd shout it out. No, I'm gonna gatekeep it. Now that I finally have some power. They also don't need my help promoting. They're doing just fine. You pay a set fee and you get unlimited pizza that is brought around by waiters. And it's like
Sounds
they have
amazing.
like 2 or 3
What a great
standards.
idea.
And I want to take you guys because it's like a 2-hour experience, basically. Johnny, you need to promise to eat more than 3 slices.
Maybe I need to just eat an apple before that
Mm.
again. Just that's all I eat. That's part of the logic here, Josh. I still worked out today. It was a terrible workout. I am so hungry. I am withering away as we speak. Withering away.
And you're going to have your 7 wings. You're not even going to get up to a medium amount of boneless.
No, this is my chance to actually try different flavors I've never tried before because I'm not paying extra.
Exactly.
What did you? I forget. What is your go-to?
Oh, I am boring. Honey barbecue, man. I'm simple.
Not even like a garlic parm. Not even like
That's what I
a
do.
little.
If I'm not doing that, I'd get like an Asian zing. Again, I'm boring.
Asian zing's good.
They're good. I'm just not adventurous with my wing flavors. But that's because I'm spending $25 and I want to like my
You
food.
want to guarantee a consistent
Yep.
experience. I get it. I respect it.
Tonight, I don't have to worry about it. Bring me all the flavors you have, all of them.
Get some spicy garlic. Get some. What's the other one? You have like a Cajun one that's good. Garlic parm.
We
It's
gotta
all
stop
good, man.
this. I'm
Everything-
starving.
I would. I encourage you. Do not get honey barbecue. Get anything but.
That might be my warm up though.
But here's the thing with Johnny and I both doing it is we can order like
also
multiple
switch
like we can exactly. So we can get a honey barbecue just to have in the back pocket in
Yeah,
case like
they
you know
won't care if we're sharing.
because I'm a
We're
wimp
both
like
doing
spicy
that.
garlic. I'm going to try one of those and be like nope, not for me. Give
Yeah,
me an
I am
entire
too.
gallon of milk now, please. Like that's my level of spice.
Maybe we should
tolerance.
just bring our own gallons of milk.
Maybe we should. Can you imagine? Oh wow. Anyways, Josh, I'm so sorry. I don't even know what you were following because we
Oh,
interrupted
yeah.
you so much.
Oh
Food.
yeah. So no, we did. Yeah. So we had boomer take from Johnny.
Yeah.
Aaron, what's your boomer take? And if you need time, I'll give you my boomer take. And that is,
It
I
was the
really.
sped
It was maybe
podcast.
maybe it was speeding
Oh,
up a
it was a sped up-
podcast. If not that, I'm such a anti-expansionist that maybe it makes me feel like a boomer. Like you know what, the BCS, the fact that I like the BCS, I think that makes me a boomer.
Oh,
but I'm proud
that's
of
actually
it.
a really good
We're all
boomer take.
boomers
And
then.
to be a boomer, you actually have to be proud of the fact. To be a true boomer, you need to be proud of the fact that you're a boomer. I'm proud of the fact that I loved the BCS and that I loved the 14 playoff. That's
I
my
remember
take.
when people cared about the bowls. Everyone
Yeah.
would actually go to the
Yeah,
bowls.
exactly.
Yeah,
When the regular
there it is.
season meant something. Yeah, there you go.
When it actually meant something.
Yep.
That's a good boomer take.
Thank you.
It's a fun, like, paradoxical one too, because you are saying I much preferred it when a random computer determines
Yes.
who is eligible for the championship.
Uh-huh.
Like, that's very, with all the AI stuff coming out. Oh, by the way,
Nope. Not AI though. I don't want AI doing it.
exactly. So it's a very fun type of boomer take where it is like I much prefer to go. My boomer take is that, and this is probably the most controversial, especially given my profession. I like maybe one new song per year at this point. I do not like
Oh.
any new music.
One?
Interesting.
Yeah, like
What if
maybe
it's the
every now and
same
then
band or artist you like have been listening to comes out with a new album?
I will tell you, I've not been thrilled.
Oh,
It's happened like 4 times where I'm like, oh, I just don't. This isn't it.
Wow.
Yeah. No, it's like, oh, I prefer them back when they were like, like a small underground band in 2008. I've done that like with like 4 bands where I'm like, oh no, this is new. Why is this new?
Why is it
it's a
new?
It's an ironic.
That
it's a
was the
very
most
boomer
boomer
take.
thing.
Y'all are so fancy. Yeah, there's a band I listen to. It's like a 5 metal band. I've seen them in concert. They're fantastic performers. They added a saxophone solo to one of their songs, and I'm like, nah, this
What?
is a sax. What are you doing with a saxophone?
Oh,
Josh,
come on now.
why are you hating on? No, you're wrong.
Yeah, you are wrong for that.
I haven't even heard the song.
It's a boomer
Saxophone
take. It's
is
a boomer
always
take.
better. Saxophone.
I'm not saying
makes everything
it's a badly performed saxophone solo. I'm just like,
It's not the exact
right.
same song I've already been listening to. That's basically all I
Exactly.
wanted.
It's not the same song I've been listening to since 2012,
Gosh.
so therefore it's bad. I'm not saying it's a good take, and again, it's dangerous for my profession because I love my songs now. I'm gonna just stop.
Oh,
Sometimes I feel
Very
justified. Katy Perry's newest album just really not hitting, or
No,
EP.
that's-
I'm sorry, but I've tried getting into Chapel Roan and tried getting into some of the Spring Carpenter, and it's just, I'm like, okay. I'm glad I'm not saying I hate it, that it shouldn't exist. I'm just saying, yeah.
well, you'll
good.
get there, Josh. That's the progression of being a boomer, I believe.
I'll get into it way too late. I'm just discovering Carly Rae as we speak.
Oh, well, what I'm following is rather quick, and not just because I'm hungry. Josh already mentioned my favorite thing that happened this week. Perhaps my favorite thing was the new Big Ten commercial came out. I have enjoyed seeing the Oregon Duck wandering around the campuses too. Did he go to Ohio State today, or did he go up to Michigan?
I have not seen anything. I'll
I've
just
been trying to
research.
follow the Duck.
Yeah.
We'll
Duck
see him
hasn't put anything
eventually.
out.
We'll see the Duck eventually. But we were all very concerned about what would happen to the commercial. And if you're not familiar with the old commercial, it was beauty to the eyes of a geography buff like me, where it started with the Rose Bowl out in California, where you can see the Sierra Nevada, and it just scanned over to Nebraska and all the way to New Jersey and Rutgers and Maryland there, and just showed all the unique parts of every single university in the Big Ten and the campus. And the song is great. It's a great song. And we were worried what would happen to the commercial. And apparently Tony Petitti kept getting asked about the commercial. And I just want to admit, like, that man probably was just like, I don't care about this stupid thing. But clearly people do. Don't get rid of it. And they basically didn't. They basically kept the commercial. They already were starting out in California. So they just started up in like Vancouver and scanned down the Pacific coastline with Washington and Oregon, USC and UCLA. And then they didn't spend nearly enough time trying to traverse the Rockies. They made Nebraska feel like it was pretty close, but that's okay. That's okay. Great commercial.
Yep.
And then lastly, am I cursed?
Yes.
My record, I will have you know, other than the Columbus Blue Jackets, but that is not my fault. I have an easily winning record with every other team I've ever gone to their games. Now, some of them I haven't gone to a ton of games. The Bengals, I've only gone to 3. They're 3-0 though. Have a great winning percentage when I go to their games. At worst, they usually draw. The Buckeyes, 1 loss. Pretty good. Cincinnati Reds. After yesterday's game, my record when I attend said Cincinnati Reds game 4-27.
Not even the White Sox were that bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say competing with the White Sox there. It's
wow,
162 game season. Have the Reds been very good in my lifetime? No, but I'd also say most years they're mediocre, not terrible, but not very good either. But it's a 162 game season, and I would love if there's an advanced analytics guy out there. I'd love to know. I usually go to Friday night games, but obviously other ones mixed in. How many times I've gone to the only game in the series they've lost? I'd also like to know that because I feel like that happens a lot. But I might be cursed. I might need to stop going to Reds games, although I don't think I'm doing anything to make it worse down there. Ellie got like 4 steals yesterday or something. That was wild. So that part was fun.
He just homered against Miami
2-0
like 2 minutes ago.
Oh, nice. Is Nick Castellanos going to hit a home run tonight too?
Probably.
Everyone's like, oh, the economy is dipping. Does that count?
Yes.
Oh yeah, what's the line?
But then somebody's like, he's plus 700. I'm like, well, that'll be down to like plus 200 in an hour. Just give it some time. But yeah. Anyway, am I cursed? I don't know.
I don't know if you're cursed or just
for the Reds.
I don't even know.
Just for the Reds, though. For some reason, the other teams are just fine. Cavs have won both games. Buckeyes win every game except one. Do well. I don't know. I don't get it. Even Wright State and Dayton win when I go and watch them. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either. We need some scientist or something, mathematician, something. That's such a statistical anomaly that something. I think there's got to be
one
a
of them
curse
was
in
a
play.
16-inning win. That was the first win I witnessed as a Reds fan. And I literally asked my dad as a kid and said, "Dad, why? Why is it so hard for them to win a game I go to?"
Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. Don't know the answer. Well, what I do know is that Johnny and I are about to slam an ungodly amount of boneless wings. So if it's just Josh on the show next week, you know why. So if he's running
It'll just
solo,
be me. I'm making a DraftKings account so that I can bet the over on Castellanos.
There you go.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you were going to bet the under on amount of wings he's going to eat tonight, but
I don't think they put that in the book, but I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll let you know next week what the wing count is if we've discovered new flavors we like. All of the above. We'll figure it out. So anyways, listeners, thanks for being here. Thanks for following us on social media. We've seen a lot of you follow us on Instagram, really everywhere. It's kind of blowing up a little bit. So we are really thankful for that. TikTok paid us an entire $1 yesterday. So we're all going to quit our day jobs. So thank you, TikTok.
That IOC.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
You can't stop this train.
it's your first $1 and hang it on a wall.
I know, exactly. Mr. Krabs style. All right, listeners, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for being here. YouTube, thanks for hanging out with us, as always.
Ooh.
It's always good to have
you. I'll let you know how it goes. I just got a warning that it may not have been Wi-Fi while I was cutting out. I may have been stressing my CPU.
Oh, interesting.
In the sense that I just got a warning. Recorded audio was lost at locations, probable causes. It's all processor related issues. So I'm going to do a quick scan and see, but because I was dropping out, it may not be good to pull the audio. So if you need to I'm okay to obviously get less airtime if it means you have to cut some of my takes out.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
I'm just going to scan through before I send it to you. I'm going to see where it notes. Oh, is it just 2 dropouts? I'm going to check these 2 dropouts real quick and then I'll upload things.
Yeah. Sounds good. YouTube, thanks for being here. We will see you guys around. More content coming your way. So stay tuned for that. But thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Always appreciate it. We'll be back probably at 7 p.m. next week, probably.
Yeah. Now I got the Big Ten commercial stuck in my head.
I